Yep. It's over. I did it. It hurt. Now, when I say it hurt, if you have followed me for a little while, you know that we've spent a lot of time with Purdy the pig. You know, I got her from Jess and Jeremiah. It was one of their pigs. So they crossbred. She was a Mangalitsa Old Spot mix. I helped Jeremiah castrate some of the male pigs, and he gave me a pig in return. That's how we ended up with Purdy. I wasn't supposed to have another pig yet. Okay, she is the second round of pigs that we did. The first one we had two. They were Cooney American Guinea Hog mix that we had gotten. So those two were our first set, and then Purdy was our second set. But we weren't supposed to have her yet. You know, that's why she was in this pen. This pen isn't even supposed to be here anymore. You know, I had plans to do electric wiring down in the woods. So we spent a lot of time with Purdy because she went down for about 2 months there. We had to try to figure out how to get her back up and make sure everything was okay and stuff. And it, you know, we bottle fed her essentially. And then she got back up. You know, we found out exactly what the problem was. It was some China berries she had gotten a hold of, and luckily we caught it fast enough, and we detoxed her and got her back up. Now, the whole plan for her in general was meat, okay? But as any animal lover knows, whenever you spend a bunch of quality time with an animal, you grow to really care for them. It's one of the reasons why I always told my kids not to deal with the meat chickens. You know, Wade, he enjoys helping me, so he understands. But like when we first did it, I told them, I said, "Don't. These chickens are mine. Y'all have the egg layers," because I didn't want them getting attached to them and being upset when we butcher them. So we got really attached to Purdy, and like I said, her purpose was for meat. For a little while there, we went back and forth on whether or not we were actually going to process her. Well, it came down to it, and it's what needed to be done, because we want meat. Okay, we want to eat. I want to provide for my family. I do not want a yard animal right now. You know, maybe later on we'll have something like that, but right now the animals that we bring onto our farm, they have a purpose. Her purpose was meat, so it came down to it, and we made the decision. Now, this morning was the morning, of course. I got up, and honestly, for the past week, knowing that this is what I was going to do, I had trouble processing it. Constantly having anxiety, very nervous, almost gave up, right? And I'm glad I didn't, because again, we have nice, delicious meat that we raised here. But it needed to be done, because she was a large pig, and this pen, though it worked for her, it was not supposed to be that way. She was not supposed to be in a stationary, or she was not supposed to be in a pen like this, where she wasn't getting able to really forage and stuff like that. This was temporary for those other pigs, and then it was temporary for her. I will be tearing this pen down. I will not get any more pigs until I'm ready with the woods. I have to learn how to say no to things, and that's what will happen. So it was difficult this morning. I get up, make my coffee, and get things situated, and I spent a good 2 hours of the morning really talking myself into doing it. Stood here waiting for her to give me a shot. Now, there were two other factors that made this morning difficult. First factor is the fact that Chastity, who is even more attached to her, said she did not want to be here when I did it. Well, so they were supposed to go somewhere. waiting. I'm not feeling well, so they didn't go anywhere. And so this morning, while they were sleeping, they were still in bed. I was up. I didn't want to wake them up with a gunshot, so I was waiting. But then also, I live on I wouldn't say it's a busy road, but I live on a road in which a good amount of people come down. Well, and we get joggers and bicyclists and stuff like that. Well, I noticed there's just a lot of joggers going by, and I'm just like, man, this is really nerve-wracking because I don't want to just bow and then they freak out or something. Well, apparently there was some kind of relay from the Lake Murray Dam to like Lake Greenwood Dam, and they were using our road, and there was just a lot of runners. So I got in my truck and I went up the road to where there was a police officer, helping direct them and stuff, and I informed him of what was about to happen, just so he knew that when if he heard a gunshot, or if somebody heard a gunshot, then they didn't freak out and like cops were called on me or something like that. So that's two factors that made this morning even more stressful. On top of the fact that like I don't have a problem butchering or processing or skinning. I can do that. It was the fact that like when it comes to a pig, you have to make a specific shot in order for them to go down peacefully without any stress. Okay? And so that can be difficult. That's a waiting game in itself. So that already made me very stressed out because I used my pistol, a 9mm hollow point. That's what I took her down with, because honestly right now for some reason you can't find 410 shells at all. And so that's what I used. Worked well. One shot. She went down. I went in there and I stuck her. I'm not going to say I didn't want to just cry. I will tell you that I was shaking very bad because the adrenaline and the fact that I was nervous. It all worked out well. And I'm happy that it did that. I'm happy that this stressful experience happened because I know that I can do hard things, but also I'm glad that everything worked out well because it could have been even worse. Could have been more stressful. Nobody wants to no one wants to wound an animal when you're trying to kill the animal. So what we did after that, then I borrowed my uncle's tractor, which I'm very grateful for because it made it very easy. Picked her up, and then we started skinning her. The reason I skinned her and didn't scald her, the main reason is I don't have the ability to scald her. I didn't have a huge drum. I don't have scrapers. I could have probably made something, but this whole experience was an experience of not being prepared. It wasn't supposed to happen, so I didn't do that. I skinned her, but also the fact that she's not a very heavy lard pig. She had good fat on her, but it wasn't like so much that I was like, man, I'm losing a lot of fat by skinning her. Now I did lose the majority of her fat by skinning her, but I still have really good fat on the meat that I'm going to be trimming and rendering down. So that's the second reason why I decided to skin her. Now I did it by myself. My dad helped me. After I skinned her and gutted her, I basically just essentially like quick butchered her on site. I cut her ribs into small ribs and baby back ribs, and I cut the hams off. I cut the shoulders off. I pieced her out before I had to separate her into multiple different refrigerators because I don't have a large cooler either. So that's one of the other reasons I was not prepared, because I didn't have anything like that. But I got in touch with one of my friends, and he assured me that like doing it that way is fine. So today is Saturday. I will process the meat on Monday. I'm off Monday because Sunday, tomorrow, is the chili cook-off, and I'm a part of the chili cook-off, and that's always fun. So I took Monday off really to recuperate from the chili cook-off, but now I will be, butchering the meat, doing grind. I'm just doing really simple cuts. I cut out her what I call the back straps. A lot of people, if you go in the store, you see it's called tenderloin, but it's the back strap. The tenderloins are actually in the loin area of between their legs, on the inside. The back is the back strap to me. That's where you get your pork chops. We're gonna do boneless pork chops. I did not keep the spine and everything intact because, again, I don't have the ability to really store it the way I needed to. I like bone-in pork chops, but boneless, they don't hurt, you know. And then of course I'm gonna piece out for the Boston butts, grind and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a very simple process. And I wanted it that way because we don't do fancy stuff. One day I will have pigs, and we'll probably, like, I'll try to get hand hewn out here, and we'll do classes and stuff, like to do like the curing of the meat, because I would like to have like some cured hams, cured stuff. There's one specifically that I really love, and Jeremiah loves it as well. It's called Speck. It's basically a cold smoked cured leg. I don't know if it's I think it's the front. I'm not sure on that part, but I know it's called Speck, and it's absolutely amazingly delicious. Tried it whenever I was at a hand hewn class at Roots and Refuge Farm, and then Jess actually got Jeremiah some Speck the other day, and of course I had to make sure he shared it with me because it's just that good. You don't want to be disrespectful. So today has been it's been a day. It's been a good day, but it was also rough. It was a rough start to the day. So now everything is done. She is pieced out. I buried all of the guts and stuff. I did get the leaf lard off from around the organs, so I can render that down. You don't know what leaf lard is. Basically, it's like the most purest fat on the pig, and it surrounds like their liver and stuff like that. And it has no. Their regular lard has that bacony like smell and taste when you render it and use it, for cooking. But this lard does not have that, and you can use it for like baking cakes, or some people will if you can get it whole. I did kind of cut it up a little bit. If you get it whole, you can actually wrap meat in it and cure it that way too, and it's amazing. So I was able to keep some of the stuff. I did not keep any of the organs. As of right now, we don't eat that stuff. I do have this stuff called Pluck that is a seasoning. I have talked about it before, that has organ meats in it that I like to sprinkle on the things that we eat, so that we are getting some of those nutrients and stuff from the organs. So there's a link in the description if you want to look it up, and there's a discount code as well. I think it's WBH20 for 20% off. So go check them out. It's pretty cool if you want to get your organs in without it having to eat the actual organ itself. Now, I do like heart, liver, stuff like that. Nobody else does. So I'm not going to keep a whole pig liver or the kidneys and stuff like that. I didn't think about keeping the heart. I guess I could have kept the heart, but I didn't. So that wasn't the last thing on my mind. So Purdy is officially gone. She is officially gonna be in our bellies soon, and many days to come. She weighed, I would say, probably about 300 to 350. That's about what she weighed out at. Like hanging weight, not processed weight, because of how I pieced her out. I don't know how many pounds of meat I'm gonna get. I don't really care to measure it either, because it's for us, it's for my family. I know it's enough. I know it'll be good. So yeah, it's sad. I'm sad that she's gone. I enjoyed coming out here and talking to her, hollering at her, give her some scraps. But it's nice. Now it's a good start to the year. Time to focus on getting the chicks in and getting the poultry business going and get it up and running. And so yeah, this is one more thing off my plate, and I feel relieved. So to Purdy.